What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC talk show. That's right, it's time for the Dudes in Blue, episode number 166. Hope this episode finds you well. I am your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
Antonino, dude, what's going on?
not much, man. Busy weekend. Had a game to watch, and good thing it was Saturday and not Sunday because we got the power knocked out last night at about 7 o'clock. It didn't come back until about 1 o'clock in the morning. We had some pretty nasty storms up here, but fortunately the game was Saturday night, and fortunately it was against Cincinnati because if NYCFC played that way against just about any other opponent in Major League Soccer, they probably wouldn't come out with the scoreline that they came out with. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's listen, I busy weekend as well. Had a wedding Saturday, so was following the game on the phone, which is not always the most fun thing to do. But yeah, judging just by following on the phone and then actually watching the game a little while ago, yeah, very different. Very different. D- Not seeing it, the scoreline definitely tells one story, but definitely a lot of room for improvement all around the pitch, I think.
And I'm sure we'll get into that as the episode winds on. But before we do, make sure to give us a follow: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue. That is how you get a hold of us. We're going to open up the phone lines pretty soon to talk about this game because we want to talk about this game with you, the loyal Dudes in Blue Nation. And before we dive into it, I'm just going to do a quick roll call, dude, and get to some of the Facebook comments here. And let us know in the Facebook comments if
Yeah.
you're watching on the live feed where you're tuning in from, and share the broadcast with your friends because, well, share the NYCFC love/hate relationship that we have with this dear club that wears blue. Felix saying, "Yer,
Yeah.
Dave, what's going on?" Amanda checking in. Amanda, I know you didn't go to that game. David, what's up? Alec, what's going on? Ronald saying, "Hey." Felix wants to know what's in the glass. We'll get to that in a second. Alec is saying, "Talk about the happiest and saddest game I've ever seen of soccer." Yeah, that just about sums it up. Uncle Dom is checking in. Christian Smith says the Furcus is strong. Tommy's saying what's up. Lalo checking in. Man, this is another Anthony checking in. Andres Los coming in. Wow.
What?
Full house tonight.
Everybody's here.
Full
House.
house. Jason Pena is
Full
here as well. Wow, you guys are awesome. Share this broadcast with your NYCFC friends. Let's dive into this, dude. Just right off the bat, hot take. My hot take: not a great game of soccer. I know that's probably not the most uncommon hot take there is, but not a great game of soccer. The result was what the result should have been against a team such as FC Cincinnati. The way it came about, I was not particularly thrilled about. I mean, the giveaways that were constantly happening, the PKs, the missed PKs, the defensive shambles.
Shambology.
I guess I need to make another GIF. Shamblism is now how I describe what happened defensively in that game. Dude, yeah, just I don't know, man. It's a mess. I mean, we could talk about the lineup. We had players out, we had players hurt, we had players. This is what happens in August, and especially with a big week of games where we have another match on Wednesday night. We got a match on Saturday, Red Bulls. Yeah, I don't know where to begin, man. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Should we start with some positive? Maybe
We could do
we'll
that.
do that.
We could
All
do
right.
that.
So I will say, I think bright spots were Maxime Chanot on the defensive side. I thought he had a very good game. I thought he was the boss of the box. Stopping a couple clear cut, high scoring opportunities or what could have been. And listen, you've got two guys up top that are kind of firing at all cylinders right now. So it's good that you pick up a win. And again, there's still room for improvement. But anytime you can get points in a game that's not so great, your
On the
luck
road.
is on your side. Yeah, on your road, exactly. And I think the best part about all this is that Philly drops points by losing to Chicago. So anytime teams ahead of you, take an L or get 1 point, and you have a chance to capitalize, by all means, you have to go after it and you have to get it. And this team did a good job of in their moments finding the back of the net. Could have been more. Again, the game could have been totally different depending on a lot of different things. If FC Cincinnati has a little bit more luck on their side. But overall, I think you got the result you needed, and now you kind of like got to put it behind you. You got to build on what you did well, work on what you did poorly, and go into Wednesday's game hungry as ever for 3 points, because now's the time of the year where you got to start rolling.
Yeah, well, at the time of year where we typically start to roll backwards down the hill. Let's talk about James Sands here, because 9th minute took a knock and broken collarbone. Really horrible news. After
bad.
Suffering that wrist injury, I think it was his arm, right? Broke his arm.
Yeah.
And was out for several weeks. Now we're talking potentially long-term injury for the kid. You feel bad.
Yeah, especially because he's been a really good player.
He's been solid, absolutely solid. And, looked a little shaky maybe the last couple games, but that could just be getting back into the groove of playing regular minutes, so I can't really fault him too bad. But sure. like Christian's saying on Facebook, the kid can't catch a break. He can't.
Well, he can. He did.
Breaks. He literally caught a couple of breaks.
I think from now on, when we play Cincinnati, he just stays home.
Yeah.
Don't even come to the game.
That's right, because it was against Cincinnati where Brad Stoyer broke his arm.
So
at home, yeah.
So Jimmy, from now on, Cincinnati, just stay home.
Just don't play. Just
don't
play
go.
FIFA. Really bad. So you feel bad. I mean, fortunately, it was interesting to see Ben Sweat come in instead of Ibiaga. I thought that was an interesting substitution. But it happened, and again, that could have been what kind of unhinged the defense a little bit and made Cincinnati a little bit more dangerous on the attack. But I also think that we were just kind of poor. But again, losing one of your key center backs 9 minutes into the game is gonna do something. It's gonna alter the game. It's gonna alter your game plan. It's gonna alter your communication. It's gonna change your lines. It's gonna change everything. And it did. It did. And we almost severely paid for it. I mean, going down 1-0 in the first half could have been 2-0 if it wasn't for Sean Johnson coming up with a big save on a PK. But then, a few minutes later, they capitalized and put one in the back of the net. So, they were dangerous. They were dangerous, and I think because Jimmy had picked up that major injury.
Yeah. Sands coming out pushes people in different spots. They chose to put Ring at center back, which is not the worst thing in the world, but you're taking him out of the midfield where he's going to give you the greatest potential. He's going to give you the most that he can in the midfield. He's not going to give you the most that he can on center back, but it's not his natural position. That being said, that goal that was given up, if you watch it again, kind of with this zonal marking, all the defenders did was just turn, and as soon as the ball was on the flank, they all bolted for the middle of the box. No one paid attention to anyone that was there. You let the offensive player right in, and that's what happens. If you can't make the initial stop, like Ring, who had to play in that position, no one turned around, no one knew he was even there, and it leads to goals, like all the time, like 100% of the time. You have to be aware of what's going on around you, and I think that's been probably our biggest issue on defense is not being aware of the second ball in the box off of a deflection. The set pieces, not being aware of who's behind you, who's coming in, and instances like this where you've got a trail runner coming in who finds all the space in the world because no one's paying attention to him, and he buries a shot in the back of the net.
And it was credit to Cruz because he thundered that one into the net. I mean, it was a great strike. I mean, Sean Johnson's not stopping that. No chance. But again, when that ball goes through 2 or 3 defenders, it's a low-driven cross. Nothing crazy. Nothing not clearable. I mean, but just bad marking. Just bad, zonal marking, like you said. And ball sneaks through, and Cruz puts it away. Lucky for us, Castellanos came up huge a couple minutes later with an absolute wonder strike from the top of the box, assisted by Maxi. But Dude, yeah, what a goal. What a goal this was. Picking out, taking on two defenders and picking out that corner and just putting it past the keeper. Absolutely phenomenal goal.
Yeah, he put the ball in a spot where no one's ever going to get to it. It's just fantastic.
Through
The
traffic.
bend on it through traffic, which is amazing. Again, this is a play that came from the transition, which is nice because when Cincinnati had a high press and they were doing a fairly good job of it most of the game, and when you can beat them on transition, it kind of forces them back a little bit and it gives you more opportunity to play your game. Maxey gets the ball up the field and Taty just does the work. And again, just a strike that really hits the back bottom corner that no one's really can get to if you're positioned the right way as a keeper. You're probably being shielded at that point by your defenders, and you put the ball between three guys. So it's a really great strike, a really good answer.
Yes.
Not to fester in the giving up of a goal, not to sit there and sulk, but to turn around and make something out of it. And make no mistake, on the transition, this team is very, very, very dangerous. As long as everyone's aware of what's going on and moving forward.
Yeah.
There was a play in the second half where Keaton Parks takes the ball. He eats a lot of time with it. He holds up the play, and then ball gets to Heber. Heber throws a beautiful cross to absolutely no one. You've got to be situationally aware of your position and know when to make that run to get open. There's no one on that side of the field at all.
No.
Not even close.
Nope.
And that ball, it can
Beautiful.
be buried 9 out of 10 times. So, again, on offense and defense, I think the decision-making and just the general awareness of your surroundings really needs to be stepped up if you want to beat if you want to beat better teams.
Alec on Facebook says that we looked better after that goal. Or after we gave up the goal. It was kind of a wake up call, and I guess I would agree. But at the same time, like you said, I think Cincinnati was giving us a little bit of a hard time, especially in the midfield, where we just couldn't seem to get the ball out of our half or out of the midfield. Maxi Morales, like I mentioned, had a rough game. Had a rough game in my opinion, and not just my opinion. It's just facts. He didn't have a fantastic, typical Maxi Morales game, despite picking up the assist and the secondary assist on Heber's goal, which happened in stoppage time in the first half, thankfully, to put us up 2-1. A great goal, great little touch by Castellanos, which whether he meant it or not, it doesn't freaking matter because it was beautiful. And it's just, again, to see these two guys link up, I do not think you could play one without the other at this point. I think they must come in tandem. They must be on the pitch together because they're creating opportunities and they're scoring goals. It's just it's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, not to say they can't they can and they have done it each individually, but I think together you're just it's a super punch. It's really just a super punch up top where one or two of those guys can actually, they have the nose for the goal now, and they can get into those spots where, players haven't been able to get to earlier in the season. Now both these guys are really doing it. So guess what? These are the two guys I'm putting up top for pretty much the rest of the year, aside from giving people rest on occasion. These two guys are going to be the ones that are going to lead us forward. I don't think Matriz is going to end up being the goal scorer that we thought he was. I don't think he's going to be the DP that we thought he was going to be.
Season's over in like a month and a half.
Yeah, so what 7 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
So listen, these guys. I think these guys are going to be the big ones taking us home. I think Mitri's going to be he'll be a complimentary player, but I just haven't seen enough of him to warrant him being a savior or a big match clutch.
No, not even close.
At this point. Just this game, he was invisible. Really, too
100%.
many giveaways. Just poor decision making. He gets bodied off the ball far too easy, and then he looks for the calls. And that's another thing that happened a lot this game. Players on both sides just
going down. Oh my god!
That's my one. FC stands for Flop City, baby.
But dude, I'll tell you what. That's my biggest gripe with Taty. As much as I love him as a player now, and he's really coming to his own and own that spot, the dude goes down way too easy. Way too easy.
He goes down like this delicious lager.
Oh, look at you.
In all reality, I think these guys do themselves a disservice by going down so easy because your talent ends up being tarnished by the fact that you're a habitual diver. in the
Yeah.
league's eyes.
I
There
think,
are
I think it
plenty of
leads to you
great
getting
players.
less calls just
Yeah,
because, you know.
yeah, you're less likely to get the benefit of the doubt. Listen, just keep your legs moving, and if you get tripped up, you get tripped up. Otherwise, you could possibly forfeit a scoring opportunity. How many times do guys, he can, he gets bumped and he can still stay on his feet and still control the ball, but instead
But
he
he puts
chooses
his
to go
hands up in
down.
the air and on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep going and see what happens. If you get the call, you get the call. If
Yeah.
not, listen, you're still working hard, and you're gonna build your own opportunities. So,
But listen, Taty made up for it again because in the 71st minute, we scored off of a set piece. Holy crap.
that's our first one this season.
I have no
I
idea.
think it is. I think it's our first corner. That's where the celebration off the field was just as good as the one on the field.
Unbelievable.
Listen, the corner, the second touch is where it's at, man. That second ball
We always fall victim to that second ball, and
exactly. It's
we
about
need to
time
start
we
using that.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Just at this, you can if you're gonna go that route in practice, you're going not necessarily near post, but you're gonna keep at that distance, and you're gonna try to get it to a guy like Keaton Parks or Maxime Chanel, who can get the height, even Callens, when he plays, to get the ball bumped back a little bit, and then all of a sudden you've got guys that if they're like playing like Taty and Heber, they're going to be waiting on the other side of that box, and they're going to have an opportunity because everyone's trying to get to that first ball.
Yeah.
So again, it's listen, if they keep beating you with it, you might as well try to use it to your advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the icing on the cake, obviously, was Heber picking up his brace in the 89th or 90th minute. What a great goal. Just took on the defender, 1v1, got inside, cut in, and put it far post. Great goal. That's a striker's goal, man.
This is my new favorite shirt.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's good.
He scores, you dance.
That's it. Listen, I tweeted out. I cannot stress how much I love this man, Heber. Especially after watching his post-match interview, him and Taty have a good relationship
On and
the
off the
field
field.
and off the field.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. I mean, it translates. It obviously translates. I mean, it's the way it should be if you have these kinds of attacking players that are able to score goals, and you wonder where a guy like Matrica fits in. Like, do you think a guy like him is feeling a little left out? Maybe the little Romanians feeling a little left out?
He's got no one to blame for himself because he literally has the one move, and he's been able to score goals. He's got the talent. He really does.
Nobody's denying that.
No one can say that he doesn't have the talent. I just think he needs to make better decisions, and he needs to be a little more dynamic when he plays. Because right now he's a one-trick pony who runs down the left, cuts right, has
Tries
three guys
to get it on his right foot to
and
blast it in.
shoots. Yeah, he tries to blast it in like a la Taty did. Or he gets nailed and he goes down and he either gets the call or he doesn't. I just think he needs to not put so much pressure on himself to get the goal and realize that you can contribute many other ways. And losing the ball by holding it too long is not one of them.
No, not at all. Not at all. So again, just a very strange performance. I want to get the phone lines open, dude, because
Open them up.
we're almost 20 minutes in and haven't taken a phone call.
Let's do it.
So I want to do it. The phone lines are going to be open now, guys. 646-535-7982. If you want to talk to us, I'll get to as many as we can. I will do one at a time, obviously. So if you call in and you get through and you're waiting, just wait. We'll get to you. I promise. Remember, just no F-bombs. Just come on.
No F-bombs.
Don't be dumb. I want to do it. If I can't say it, you can't say it. All right, 646-535-7982. Again, dude, you're on the road. You pick up 3 points. You bring home 3 points in a week where you've got 3 games in 7 days, where you have a Saturday, a Wednesday, and a Saturday. It's gonna be a tough week. Fortunately, the 2 games this week, the other 2 games this week are at home, and I'm gonna get a call in while we do this here, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? You're on with the dudes in blue. Who's this? Yellow.
It's Christian from Jersey, guys. How we doing?
Christian, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing fine. How about you guys?
Doing all right, man. Doing
Fantastic as can be.
So do you agree or disagree with the fact that this performance wasn't great despite the result?
I agree 150%. I was actually, while I was live tweeting the game for Hudson River Blue, I pointed out, it was a 4-1 win, but, New York City looked sloppy and lacked communication for about at least 80% of it against a team that is literally, both based on wins and on points, the worst in the league. And that's a team we should be skating by. I mean, if there's any team to, run up the score line 5-0 and absolutely shut out, that's the one. And it just didn't look like that in the first half at all.
It didn't feel like it was. It did come. We definitely got it, but it didn't feel like the right way to get there.
Yeah, it didn't come. It came off of pretty much what was more or less a late surge, I felt like. And I feel this team is one that should be controlling play from the opening minute to the closing minute against a team like that, and not necessarily getting punched in the mouth and then being forced to respond. I just don't think that that's what this team should be doing. We're too good for that. You know what I mean?
Hey, Christian, how do you think, and I'll throw this into the comments too if you guys want to leave the comment, how do you think the game would have turned out had they converted that PK early on and we went down 2-0 in the first half?
Oof. Well, I mean, the Cincinnati's goal came, pretty close after that saved PK. So, judging by the flow of the play, it's hard to know whether or not they would have gone down 2-0 and that play had still happened the way it was. I guess, but then again, it absolutely could have been 2-0 in the beginning. And I mean, let's face facts. If Lamar was a better forward, we would have been down 2-0 anyway without the PK. But I don't think it would have. I think if they score that PK and Lamar is a better striker, then New York City's probably looking at a point at best at Cincinnati, and that's not good enough. I mean, thank God it didn't come to that rather. But still, I think you and I are pretty much coming from the same place here.
It's funny, dude. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how we're talking about a 4-1 basic beating in this way? I think it's because we expect more from the club.
Yeah, well, when you beat them 5-2 at home, and you beat them in pretty dominating fashion when you score all the goals in the game. Literally, you scored 7 goals.
7 goals.
This is a team that you expect to handle fairly easily, and you should be able to showcase all your strengths and move forward. And this game was not like that. And again, the result is great. And listen, you're going to need games like this during your season to propel you forward. And this could be a big one down the line where you say, man, we got 3 points in that game where maybe we didn't deserve it the way we played much of it, but we got the points, and all of a sudden you're 2 points ahead of another team, and you get a home game in the playoffs, or you saw up first place on the East. It's very doable. So again, it's a good result, but again, with much room for improvement. But if you could, I would say when you can win games and still improve, you're on the good side of the ball. You got to be better against the better teams, and now you're going to start seeing some of the better teams going down the stretch.
I feel like this game was kind of similar to the Houston game, where it was a game that we should have dominated and we didn't. Came away with the result, but kind of haphazardly, right? Kind of like at the death of the game, we came away with it. But we're talking about Houston and we're talking about Cincinnati. We're not talking about the Union. We're not talking about LAFC. We're not talking about Atlanta. We're not talking about Red Bulls. We're talking about teams that we should be absolutely dominating. And Christian, I'm gonna let you jump because I want to get to another call. But does that make sense? Should we be upset about because of the teams that we're playing against and getting these kinds of results?
No, I absolutely agree that we should be demanding more of this team. I mean, anybody can just say, "Oh, it's a win," and not address the issues. But that's how more issues arise, and that's how issues become, commonplace and start being overlooked in the long scheme of things. And I think a big part of it is the fact that if you really think about it, we have only one DP and another player who plays like a DP who doesn't have a DP contract. Right. And Matriza is an absolute head case, and Medina's useless at this point.
Yep.
And it's just and to think how good we're doing right now and how much better we're doing. I know it seems like first world problems, soccer edition, but it's just
This is New York, dude.
It could always be better.
This is New York.
Yep.
We expect more from our club. I'm going to let you jump. Christian, thanks for the call, buddy.
No problem. Thanks for having me. See you next week.
All right, man.
You got us.
So we're not crazy, I don't think, anyway.
No.
You know?
He's always a good call with Christian.
Love
Always a good
Christian.
call.
Yeah, 646-535-7982. Get on the phone. I know there was a couple calls trying to come in. I'll try to get to as many as we can as we move on to our dude of the week. We want to talk about that. Again, 646-535-7982. This is a tough one, dude, because, this game was pretty much dominated by two players, and I'm going to grab this call as you make that point.
Who is it?
Hey, what's going on? You're on with the Dudes in Blue. Who this?
Hey, it's Amanda.
Amanda!
And what's good?
Oh, it's good right now because I actually was at the game on Saturday.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I made that joke, Amanda. I'm very sorry.
No, you're fine. I guess it's kind of cool to be known for something in the club. So if that's what it is, then I'll take it.
That's fine.
That's it. You own it.
That's
I
totally fine.
can take some of the responsibility because we're talking so badly about their performance. I think it's because I was there, so they were trying to tank for me. But since it was Cincinnati, they just couldn't quite pull it off.
That's funny.
Someone spotted you and was like, "Oh man, she's here. We gotta play bad."
Yeah.
And I think it was Maxie. I think it was Maxie that saw you.
Sad game.
Unbelievable. I mean, what was your take on it? I mean, like, are we crazy? Are we nuts?
No,
that we're talking about our club like this when we dominated a club on the road?
No, it means that you have high standards for the club, which I do as well, and we want to see them achieve those standards. And I mean, we are the NYCFC, so we need to be top tier. I mean, I may have a little bit of a bias, but I want us to be the best team in the league all the time. And if we struggle against Cincinnati, no offense to Cincinnati, but that's not good enough. So no, you guys are not crazy.
Yeah, that's not the team that you should be struggling against. You
No.
know, like if you have a tough time showing up in these matches, how are you going to show up in matches against Atlanta like we didn't?
Cool.
You
Yeah, no, I was a little nervous with the PK, and thank God Johnson stopped that. That was nice. And then they scored that goal, and my immediate reaction was like, this is it. It's over. It's happening again. And then before the smoke even cleared from the supporter section in their goal, like Taty was able to equalize. And I was just like, oh. So that was relieving.
The Heber goal was the one for me that was like, okay, we're going to start to turn things up in stoppage time in the first half. I mean, now, did you sit with NYCFC supporters? Did you sit amongst the Cincy faithful?
Oh, gosh, no. After what happened in Columbus, I'm going to stick with my group. So I was actually up in the away section. So it was a lot of fun. There was a decent group there. I think there was probably about 40 people that showed up to Cincy.
Okay.
That's pretty decent.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they had the Los Templados brought some drums. They were leading some good chants. I mean, when we had chants going, we couldn't hear the Cincinnati supporters on the other side of the stadium, so I felt pretty good about that. A lot of the Cincy supporters came over and thanked us for coming. They said that we brought a lot of energy, and then there were a few that wanted to trade scarves. So Cincinnati was very welcoming. I enjoyed being there, and it was a good trip.
No, that's awesome. I mean, listen, they're known. They didn't get into the MLS by not having a fan base that was solid.
Oh,
I mean, they were filling that stadium up in the USL. They were really just a really good group of fans. And I think when you have experiences like that on the road, it just makes the game so much more enjoyable because, for 90 minutes, you can be enemies and you could talk smack and you can do whatever you want. But at the end of the game, if you can share a beer with the other people and pinpoint and talk tactics and talk this and that, I think it makes the game that much better for me.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. We went and got snacks and whatnot before the game to take back to the hotel room, and in the store we ran into an FC Cincinnati supporter who was like stocking shelves. The poor sap, he couldn't go to the game, but I explained I had two friends with me, and one was from North Dakota and one was from the city, and I was like, this is why I love this game, because like I have this group of friends with me right now from all different corners of the country, and we are all here to see the same game. And I've never felt that in any other community that I've been a part of, whether it be sports or reading movies or stuff like that. But I've just really enjoyed that a lot.
That is the beautiful game. That is the world's game. It's
the reach of soccer knows no bounds.
It's being
right.
part of this like awesome club. I feel like, like when I see somebody else, I don't care what soccer jersey they're wearing. I don't care where I am.
Yeah.
When I see somebody sporting, unless it's a Red Bull jersey, I always tend to make fun of them. But if I'm ever out and I see somebody like wearing they must look at me like I'm nuts, because if I see somebody wearing like a Real Madrid jersey or a Man City jersey, whatever it is, I kind of like give them like the head nod, like that's right, I know. And they're probably like, who the hell is this guy and why is he nodding at me? But we're part of the club. I got to ask, Amanda, who's your dude of the week, because we got to move on to that.
Taty. I'm going with my Taty.
Your Taty.
I think it's a good choice.
Ah.
I think it's a good choice.
I think he has the slight edge on Heber. I mean, getting 2 goals and an assist, he's got like 1 up on him on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I could understand that. I can't. It's hard to argue with, right, dude?
Well, here's the argument. It's that who would you have expected the 2 goals from?
Yeah.
I think you would have expected it from Heber.
From Heber,
a little
yeah.
more than Taty. I think Taty was able to answer right away, which was fantastic. And the manner of which he did it was pretty amazing. And then to top it off, I mean, he had the assist to Heber, which could have been on purpose, could have not been on purpose. But listen, it worked out.
It touched him. It's fine.
So I think the Taty touch does it.
There you go. I'm with you on that.
I like it.
A touch of Taty. It's very wonderful.
And you got anything else before we get to the next call?
No. That was all I wanted to say.
You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Victory.
Thank you so much for finally bringing us a victory.
Yep. I will try to make the game against Atlanta in the city. I think I'm going to try to make that one.
Well,
Nice.
You let us know if you are, and we'll meet up with you, and we'll make sure we hook you up with some Dudes in Blue stickers and some a wristband or 2.
Heck yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Awesome, Amanda. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So is Taty getting it, dude?
For me, I was leaning
Fine.
that way.
I can't disagree. It's like impossible for me to disagree on that.
Listen, you're not wrong either way, but listen, he makes team of the week this week, which is fantastic. Just a little above and beyond what he usually does. And again, if he has 2 more games like this, all of a sudden his bar is set a little higher, and
That's right.
probably won't be seeing him at Dude of the Week for a while, unless scores a hat trick or something. So
Yeah, exactly.
we shall see what happens.
Exactly. Probably got time for one more call, dude. 646-535-7982. Got time for one more call. So if you want to get on and chat with us for a couple minutes about NYCFC, we got some other stuff to kind of talk about in the world of soccer / NYCFC / other stuff too, I'm sure. But this game, we put Cincy to rest, and hopefully picking up some points this week. 2 matches Wednesday night against Columbus at home, and then Saturday against Red Bull at home. Going to be a difficult week for the boys. Hopefully, we'll see Tinnerholm back, and hopefully Euphoria will be back into the mix, because you want to be able to see some rotation, because God, we need it. That's a lot of games.
Yeah, we do.
A lot of games. We got one more call coming in, and you know who it is. You know who it is. Let's put him through. Let's just give it to him. All right, ready, dude?
Go for it. Wait.
Felix from the Bronx checking in. You are batting 1,000, my friend. You've made every episode since we started taking calls. What is going on?
Nothing much, man. I'm coming at you guys straight from my dinner table. Me and my wife, we're enjoying some pork chops, some white rice, some black beans, made lovingly by myself. So, we're having a good night tonight, guys.
That's good. Did you have a good weekend with the result?
Well, okay, so I've been hearing a lot of what's going on about the good result with the bad performance. Okay, listen, 4 goals are 4 goals, but at the end of the day, I feel like there were a lot of things that were lacking in this performance. I mean, there's a bit of a lack of hustle on the defensive end. I mean, obviously Sands goes down and kind of changes the dynamic, us having to use our sub real quick. But I really feel that as far as the attacking third went, we put our passes together in the attacking third very well. I feel that, Taty and Heber, scoring a brace each was pretty crucial. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a win, but it's kind of like an expected outcome. Like, I knew, hey, 3 points against these guys. These guys are 12th in the league. I mean, we need to get these 3 points no matter what,
But did you feel in the game like, oh my God, we could let this one go?
Yeah, definitely. I think that definitely was a lot of that because, once they went up 1-0, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna fall off the rails really quick. I really like the fact that Taty Castellanos actually, we answered back just like that. I mean, you saw it, from the Bailey, their smoke was still going on, celebrating that goal when Taty nets one in. I mean, it was a beautiful shot. But at the end of the day, I really feel like this is kind of like the risk reward when we're pushing so many numbers up. We're gonna, these guys got to come back on defense. So I mean, it's we got to get better with that. We got to get faster coming back. And I really feel that if we're gonna play so many numbers up front, we got to have guys who are gonna zip right back and not give up questionable penalties on the other end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not crazy.
Hey, 3 points, man. 3 points, man. I'm not crazy with it. I mean, I thought, listen, 4-1 against the 12th place team. I mean, expected outcomes, of course, but I mean, hey, I'm not that crazy about it, but it's a win.
Yeah.
Almost like a math problem where all your work is wrong, but somehow you still came out with the right answer.
And something, I was really terrible in math in college, man. I'm going to tell you something right now. Math is a really tough subject. Sometimes things don't always add up. It's not always 3 points, but hey, 3 points, man, it adds up.
I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. Look, we gotta, but you know what it is? We gotta get off of this win-loss business. I'm okay with a win, draw, win-loss, but I don't like the win-loss pattern that we're in right now. We need some consistent points. Like, I don't want to keep dropping points, especially like coming back home against Columbus and Red Bull. We don't want to be dropping points. So this was definitely a much needed, like you said, an expected outcome, not necessarily an expected performance though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I felt like we could have done a lot better. I mean, our passes and our link-up passes in the midfield, they just weren't there. I mean, it could have been a product of Alex Rink, playing out of position a bit. But once the ball got to the attacking third, I think we did a good job. I mean, at the end of the day, things can always get better. And I'm expecting another 3 points against Columbus on Wednesday, man. We better get out there and get them.
Absolutely love it. Dude, you got anything else for Felix before we jump?
No, my dude. Just thank you, and we definitely will look forward to your phone call next Monday.
Yeah. You know what it is, guys. Hey, listen. Let's bring it for 90 minutes on Wednesday, guys. I mean, everybody in attendance, everybody in the chat right now. Let's bring it for 90 minutes. It's go hard and go home time. This is when the boys need it, and I expect everybody to lose their voice on Wednesday, fellas.
Sounds good to me.
Love it, Felix.
And Saturday as well.
You the man, Felix.
Oh, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure, gentlemen.
All right, man.
You got it, buddy.
Peace.
Don't you just love the Dudes in Blue listeners? Like, this is fantastic. I love these guys.
The show has just reached a different level since we've introduced the phone calls. It's like we've got it's almost like we've got like everybody gets their own segment on this show.
It's hilarious because
you call enough, you get your own segment.
You got Christian. who's the journalist who calls in every week, right? With his take. Amanda's starting to make regular appearances on the show now with the traveling supporter mentality, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Felix always brings
the Furcus with Felix. That's it.
Felix brings the Furcus. That's what it is. So we really appreciate it. We really appreciate all your calls. It's really fantastic. Dude, there's a couple other things. Really, just one other thing that I wanted to hit on. I don't know if you had it on your docket, but the season tickets.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to chat a little bit about this real quick as we kind of wrap up the show.
This is going to be a rant. This is going to be bad.
No.
It's going to be bad. Listen, we all know, we've all seen Twitter and Facebook, and we're all familiar with the blue cards that'll be coming out next season, where you can give away free tickets to your Uber driver or your ex-girlfriend or your grandmother or whoever you want. Now, listen, this is a great, fantastic strategy if and
Want to lose
only
season ticket
if
holders.
only if you take care of the people who are actually paying you large sums of money to watch this team. You're not taking care of the people who have been taking care of you since day one. Now all of a sudden you want us to go out and recruit and do your sales team's job.
Dude, it's like, I'm telling you,
in.
it's like they got rid of half of their sales staff. My rep has changed 15 times in the last 5 years. It's changed constantly. It's like they're cutting sales staff. They're consolidating everything. It's like they're just saying, you know what? We're going to give them a blue card. You do it.
That's it. That's what it should be. It said on it. It should be the
you do it card.
Blue card. The you do it card. Listen, I'm not gonna knock the reps because listen, it's entry level positioning. There's a lot of turnover everywhere.
It's not them. It's
no. It's front office. It's all front office. This front office has to be the most tone deaf front office I've ever come across in my 30 years of existence.
I'm starting to think Brad Sims is just like a robot. Like he's a fake.
I don't know. When there's so many questions,
it's like a computer program that just sends out a message, every now and then. Like
he don't even sign his full name. He signs Brad.
I know a lot
of guys Brad. Who the hell are you? I just don't. I don't understand how you can. Listen, the price increase is the price increase. It's not astronomical.
Can I just speak to that for just a second on price increases?
Yeah.
If you have customers, if you are in the business of having customers, price increases need to be a thing that you do. You cannot, because if you do not increase prices, you set the expectation. When you don't increase prices for 2, 3, 4 years, and then all of a sudden you hike it up, that's when people go insane because they're expecting to pay a certain amount. Price increases are just part of doing business. It happens to every club, not just us. It's the fact that there's a price increase along with more work for us and what feels like less that we're receiving in exchange for that money. That's the issue.
You've essentially told the season ticket holder that they bear no value because you don't get anything for being a season ticket holder except for your same seat for X number of games. You get playoff thing, you still have to pay for playoff tickets. It's not like you get them for free, so you get your priority. But you know what? If you finish in the bottom half of the playoff positioning table, you're not getting a home game. And if you lose, you're out. And you might not get a home game the entire playoffs. So that's really a wash at this point. There's no discount on food. The discount on food. I mean, is 10%. It's nothing. The discount on merch is nothing when everything is overpriced by 30 or 40% markup. So that's out the window. And your team events, you can meet these guys outside the stadium at gate 2 for nothing. You can get your autographs there. You could do that. I mean, and again, whose autograph is really like super, you're sought after, There's no David Villa. There's no Pirlo anymore. And again, not to knock these guys on the field because they're doing what they have to do and they're getting it done, which is nice. But you've not mentioned the stadium. You've not been transparent about it, which I think at this point, I think we'd all be happy if they said, listen, we're not close because of X, Y, and Z. We're trying to do X, Y, and Z to fix that. I'd rather hear that than you be silent. You being silent at this time of year when I don't know if I want to keep my seat. I don't know if I want to move my seat. You didn't give me a price chart, so I don't know how much I'm spending or gaining or losing from getting a different ticket at this point. Most of your city events end up being invitation only, and I can't get into half of them, or I have to pay for the other ones. Like there's a training, you get a tour of the training ground with a couple of players and a couple of staff, and it's $75. I don't want to spend $75.
Juan Pablo Torres looks forward to meeting you, dude.
It's like, and again, nothing to knock these guys. I love hanging out with them, and I love spending time with them. But at the same time, it's like, you need to do something else for us. Like, listen, dude, we not exclusively, but we don't just promote the club here. We promote the club everywhere we go.
I'm like a walking blue card.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I wear so much stuff. It's not even funny. The amount of money that we spend is unreal. But
I think
I don't mind
no joke,
spending it.
no joke. Like 90% of my wardrobe now is like this club. I don't know how the hell it happened, but I was folding clothes the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, I have a problem.
City. It's all. Just forget it. I won't even show you guys my closet. But then I do have a couple of arguments for people dropping tickets. Now, everyone's biggest thing is I can get these tickets for X number of dollars cheaper than my seat on the secondary market. Guess what? If you all drop, the only people that are going to be left holding season tickets are people like me that go to every single game because they want to. And if they do want to sell, you're not getting it for $14. You're getting it charged because the demand all of a sudden is, you're all demanding it on the secondary market. So all of a sudden the demand there goes up and the prices go up. So I don't know exactly who you're going to buy. If enough people do it, you're not going to have people to buy them from. And all of a sudden you're going back to the club and saying, okay, I want to buy single game tickets, and you're paying Ticketmaster fees and this fee and that fee. So again, you got to be careful with that. Too many people dropping. You do what you want to do. I mean, I'm not your boss. I'm not your dad. I'm not God or my dad or my boss. But in reality, it's like, listen, you drop enough season ticket holders, and then where's the sales pitch for a stadium going? Guys, listen, we want to build a stadium.
They're not going to have enough
How
bricks.
many season ticket holders you have? 3,000. Yeah, guess what? You're not getting a stadium. So, again, I understand both sides of it, but at the same time, some of your arguments, if you take them and you drag them out a little bit too far to the extreme, you're going to end up hurting yourself. So I don't feel valued as a season ticket holder. I go because I enjoy the game and I enjoy watching the product that's on the field. I don't always agree with the product on the field. I don't always enjoy it immensely, but going to games and being with the people that I'm around is what does it for me. But changes need to be made because it's unacceptable. You've taken away the big gifts when other teams are getting custom sneakers and headphones and luggages and duffel bags and things like that. Listen, I don't need the gimmicky stuff, but make me feel important. Make me feel like you want me to come to these games. Because right now it feels like you just want any ass in a seat. You don't want my ass in the seat. And that's where I have a problem.
Well, when you're giving away tickets, when you're giving away tickets for free, people put little to no value on things that they receive for free. It is just the way it goes. If people win tickets, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to go. They do not put value on it. As soon as you pay for it, you put value on it. That's just the way that we are as people.
I don't want to miss this because I paid for it.
Like, that's what I mean. People only value things that cost money. We do not value things that we get for free. It's just human nature. It's just the way it is. As soon as you got to shell out money for it, now it's valuable. How valuable is it when now I got to go and give 10 tickets away so we make the stadium look a little bit fuller? Well, how about this? Put a little bit of a better product on the field. Put people out there that people want to see. Put product out there that people want to see and that are willing to pay for in a place that they are that is soccer friendly, because we all know very well that Yankee Stadium, as gracious of hosts as they are, is not soccer friendly.
Nope.
Then maybe the time will come. But rather, let's help them recruit as best we can and just put our heads down and hope that something happens. Let's hope that the robot Brad Sims comes out of hiding and something happens. You know, I mean, we're getting to the end of the season here. You'd think something would happen before renewal time, but it hasn't. Maybe it'll happen before the playoff push. Who knows? But I'm not betting on it. So I understand people dropping. I 100% get it. I don't want to be a recruiter for you. I do that enough every single Monday night, and the amount of hours I put into this every single week to get this out to people, to the thousands of people that we reach. I don't want to hear it. So that's
enough.
Pretty much it. I hate to end on that note, but that's how we got to end it. But
it's cool. Listen, it's cool in theory if you have a great product and a great atmosphere, and all of a sudden, hey, I'm bringing 6 of my friends, and they know how much I love it, and
dude,
they're gonna.
I couldn't give
they
away
might
my
love
ticket.
Too. No, you're absolutely. Listen, you're
I
absolutely
couldn't get
right.
people to come with me.
You're absolutely right. But again, if you can get those people to come with you, and then they ask you, "Oh, I might want to be a season ticket holder. What do you get for it?" What am I supposed to tell them?
You get
What
to
do you
go to
get?
every game.
That's all you get. That can't be all that you get for making a season-long commitment. Listen, I miss birthday parties. I miss family functions. I have to plan vacations and things around the club because I love the games. I love the games and I love doing this. I love recruiting from here. I love recruiting with the content that we put out. I love recruiting by walking around the stadium doing laps and saying hi to everybody. Just how much more do you want me to do your work for you when all you have to do is be transparent and figure it out? Listen, Brad Sims, you came from a place where they had nothing and you made them make money year after year. Look, I mean, you had LeBron James to do it, but you can't. You need me to go out there and give tickets away that I couldn't give away my own tickets. I literally could not give away my own tickets to the U.S. Open game, and I couldn't give away 2 tickets to Friday night against Kansas City a few weeks back. You couldn't do it. You couldn't give them away. It's really sad at this point. I hope they figure it out by season's end because they're going to take a huge hit. And I don't think these one-hit wonders of fans coming in for these games is going to make a big difference next season.
Not at all. Not at all.
Shame.
Hate to have opened up that can of worms. Sorry, man.
Listen, I saved it for this show because I could have done it on Twitter, but enough people did it on Twitter, and I took my ideas from reading things from this and that, and then it's just sad.
Well, yeah, it is what it is. Take it with whatever you want to. Hey, that's episode number 166. We appreciate all the callers. You guys are awesome. All the comments on Facebook. If you're listening on the pod, we appreciate it. We'll be back Monday night. So Monday night's going to be kind of a packed show because we'll have 2 matches to cover. Hopefully, we'll be talking more positively about the club and the results and the way that things turn out for us between Wednesday and Saturday. We got to win against Red Bulls at home.
Yeah. Well, we pick up a game Wednesday because Philadelphia doesn't play midweek.
Right. So hopefully we'll be able to make some jumps.
Yeah, you can listen. If Philly loses on Sunday and you can win today, and if Philly loses at the weekend and you can win both games this week, you've leapfrogged one of the best teams in the league so far. So
here we go.
We shall see what happens.
Here we go. Make sure to give us the follow: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are at Dudes in Blue. That's right there. Connect with us on there. Again, thanks to all the callers. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dudes in Blue. We love taking your calls. We love it all. We love you all. We'll be back Monday nights. But until next time, stay blue.